Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Trinisphere, where Timmy, Johnny, and Spike battle over all things EDH. I am Hogg the Spike, and today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to run through some first impressions of Commander 2019. Now for this episode, I've chosen Carrick, son of Yawgmoth. And don't worry if that's not one that you are particularly looking forward to. Shannon, Adam, and Juan are going to run through their first impressions on other commanders from the set. Now, hit us up on Twitter and Facebook. I want to hear how you would build Carrick. I want to see any spicy tech or hot ads you would have had that I have missed. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel at the Trinisphere. So breaking into our commander of the day, Carrick, son of Yawgmoth. He is a 4 generic and Phyrexian black, 7 CMC 2/2 horror minion with lifelink. Now, let's be real here. He's almost always just going to cost 4 colorless and 6 life. He says for each black and a cost, you may pay 2 life rather than pay that cost. Now of note here, it's not just casting costs of spells. You can activate abilities now with Phyrexian black. And whenever you cast a black spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on Carrick, son of Yawgmoth. So even though we're going to be losing life right off the bat for casting our spells, he's going to get a bunch of counters, and on one swing we can gain a lot of what we've lost back. So the good guys over at Reddit have already broken a combo with Carrick, son of Yawgmoth, and I'll let you guys in on this combo line. It's a Doomsday combo. Now Doomsday, for those of you at home who don't know, is black for a sorcery that says search your library and graveyard for 5 cards and exile the rest. Put the chosen cards on top of your library in any order, and then you lose half your life rounded up. So this is the first part of our combo. Our second part is Cruel Bargain, another black card. It says draw 4 cards, you lose half your life rounded up. So in Commander, in an ideal scenario, after casting Doomsday, we're going to go down to 20. And then after casting Cruel Bargain, we're going to go down to 10, but that doesn't matter because we're going to win the game. Our third card is Sacrifice. 1 black for an instant that says sacrifice one of your creatures to add a number of black mana equal to that creature's casting cost to your mana pool. So if we sack Carrick, he may only have cost us 4 mana to play, but he nets us 7 black mana. And then finally we have Mikaeus the Unhallowed and Walking Ballista. Now these cards, I probably don't have to tell you guys what they do. They're very iconic. When you see them in play, you know someone's going to win the game. So basically what we do here is we Doomsday, we cast Cruel Bargain, we draw the cards we put on top, we're going to sacrifice our commander to sacrifice, and then put a Mikaeus into play and a Walking Ballista. Now Walking Ballista comes into play as a 0/0 and dies to state-based effects, but undies from Mikaeus, so he'll come back into play with a +1/+1 counter. And then we remove that +1/+1 counter to deal 1 damage to a player, and then rinse and repeat. That cycle just repeats itself. So that's really the main combo. I mean, it can be set up very quickly, and I'm a big fan. It's very impressive. Cruel Bargain is not a card you see often. It's from Portal. And if we have Carrick in play, these cards aren't really hard to cast. Black turns into 6 life. It's not a big deal in Commander. Moving on, just some other key cards that I think are really good in this deck. We've got Necropotence, another black enchantment this time. But hey, with Carrick, it's only 6 life. And once it's in play, we can draw all of the cards. We've got Grey Merchant of Asphodel and Aetherflux Reservoir. Both will offset the life that we're losing. Grey Merchant of Asphodel checks the devotion count that you have, which is the number of black mana symbols and permanents you control, and then you gain X life, and each opponent loses X life, where X is that devotion. And Aetherflux Reservoir, of course, the cannon, my signature spell, is a 4 mana artifact that says whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. And then you can pay 50 life to deal 50 damage to target creature or player. So this, it's not going to keep pace with Carrick at first, but as soon as you hit that threshold and you start casting more and more spells, you're going to quickly outpace the life that you're losing. Carrick also makes casting rituals like Dark Ritual and Cabal Ritual insane. Dark Ritual becomes 2 life to add 3 black mana to your mana pool, which leads you to think, man, Carrick, son of Yawgmoth could be the next Storm commander. A lot of people are talking about Villas, Broker of Blood, the new legendary demon from Core Set 20. He is 5 black for an 8/8 flyer. It says pay a black and 2 life, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. And that's cute and all, but not what we're aiming for here. His relevant text is whenever you lose life, you draw that many cards. So having both Villas and Carrick, Son of Yawgmoth in play is like a build your own Gristlebrand. Now, whenever we cast a spell, we get the spell's effect, we get the spell effectively for free with Carrick, and because we're paying life, we get to draw cards with Vilis. And if that's not how Richard Garfield intended you to play Magic, I don't know what is. Lending into some of the activated abilities that we can pay with Carrick's ability, we've got XStore, which is really good in multiplayer Commander. XStore is the mechanic that whenever you cast a spell, you can pay 1 black, and then if you do, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain that much life. So in your typical 4-man Commander game, every time you cast a spell, you can pay 2 life to activate XStore, and then each opponent loses 1 and you gain 1. So every single time you activate XStore, you're going to net 1 life. So Pontiff of Blight, 4 black, 2/7 zombie cleric, gives all creatures you control XStore, which is insane. Now every time we cast a spell, we could pay 4, 6, 8 life, depending on how many creatures we have, and drain everybody out of the game very quickly. Finally, another effect that just kind of mirrors Carrick that should probably go in a Son of Yawgmoth deck is Bolas's Citadel. 3 black for a legendary artifact from War of the Spark. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play the top card of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its converted mana cost rather than pay its mana cost. And then a little tiny text on the bottom, doesn't really matter to us, but you know, the cherry on top, if you will. Tap, sacrifice 10 non-land permanents, each opponent loses 10 life. So this is good because Carrick only lets us pay life for black mana symbols in costs. So that generic mana costs, we can't get around. Bolas's Citadel lets us circumvent that and just pay life for the whole CMC of the spell. We don't have to worry about paying generic costs. Another card that lets us get around the generic costs thing is Blood Celebrant. 1 black for a 1/1 cleric that says pay a black and 1 life, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So in this circumstance, it's pay 3 life, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Now this is good if for whatever reason you were playing Carrick in a multicolor deck. I don't know why you would, but if you were, this lets you generate colors other than black or lets you get those generic mana costs down. All right guys, what do you think? Have I covered all the bases? Have I gotten those meat and potatoes of this Carrick, Son of Yawgmoth deck? If you think I have, or if you think I've missed anything, remember to hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your comments. And remember, if you're not first, you're last. Hogg signing out.